Hi, this is Karen Dickrell with Glimmers of Joy for August. And our topic today is decisions and joy. What do they have to do with each other? Oftentimes our life is very cluttered and busy with so many options of what can we do and where can we go and what can we spend our money on and how do we spend our resources. And it all oftentimes relates to decisions that we have to make. Decisions, decisions, decisions. So how do you set your priorities? We have a variety of different ways that we make those decisions. One is through habits, and sometimes it's default, sometimes it's coin toss, and sometimes it's careful decision making. So I'm going to talk about those different aspects of how we might make our decisions, and I'm going to share with you some of my little things that I've collected over the years with teaching about decision making. So one of those areas is habits. So there are some good habits that we may have that have helped us over the years. Maybe it's when you get up in the morning and you eat breakfast and then you brush your teeth and you get dressed. But those are good things. And so sometimes, though, there are some habits that we have that we might have to fight with my Rosie the Riveter here, my puppet, that maybe it's not so good. Maybe it's the snacking at night or the amount of time we spend on social media or just not getting to our to-do list. So what are the good habits that you have and what are the habits maybe that you need to work on? So maybe it might be something like decluttering. Last month I talked about how to simplify life. So maybe it's thinking about how do you declutter your closet or some cupboards. And that's maybe where some of my habits over the years have come to fruition as I'm looking at all this stuff that I have in my life. But, thinking about what is good and what kind of habits do you want to continue that bring you joy and things that are fun or are just bring you a smile or a piece of contentment. So those are the things you want to look at, but sometimes some of our other habits may get in the way. So thinking about what we can do to make those changes and some of those decisions involved. Another kind of decision is by default. What will be will be. Is it due today? Do I have to get those bills out? Do I have to pay those? Or do you just go, well, that's how the cookie crumbles, and it's not always the best option. So I don't know if you can see what this is, or if you know what it is, but I've had it for a number of years. And again, it's in that collection of stuff that I have. But this is an official thumb twiddler. So I don't know if you can see it. But, sometimes people don't need an official thumb twiddler. We just sit back and we wait and see what'll happen. And maybe that's okay with some aspects of our life, but sometimes we do need to take control of things and think about what we're going to do and make sure that those bills get paid and make sure that we take some time for ourselves and do things that we enjoy to do and put that as a priority on our list. So making those decisions by default doesn't always bring us joy. In fact, sometimes it creates more worry and stress because it's like, oh, I've got to do that, or I should get at it, or I need to work on that. So decisions by default aren't always the best way to work either. Sometimes we have the coin toss. Heads I marry him, tails I don't. Well, I hope not. That's a pretty serious decision to make. But maybe it's what do I eat for breakfast? Do I have oatmeal or do I have Cheerios? Do I wear the red shirt or the green shirt? Will it make a big difference? So the coin toss for some of us do we take a drive today or not? Do I walk down the block to the north or to the south? Some of those things don't make a real big difference, but in our lives, we want to make sure that we're making decisions that make the best sense for us and where we are in our lives right now. And so that's those careful decisions that you make with major life kinds of things. So maybe it's a major purchase, maybe it's a car or your house or your children, maybe it's a career change or thinking about family and next steps of things that we need to think about and what we can do, or maybe it's retirement. So there's 7 steps to effective decision making. And it's not like my Bloomingdale bag. I don't know if Bloomingdale's are even in business any place. And I realized this year that the Mall of America is open 30 years because that's when I got this little bag. and it was just an impulse. They were signing people up for credit cards, and my sister and I were at the Mall of America when it opened, and so we opened a Bloomingdale's credit card. Now, there isn't a Bloomingdale's in all of Wisconsin. I don't think there was. And but it was an impulse. So you want to think about how you're making your decisions and what brings you joy in your life. So making those big decisions of moving forward is to, one, identify the decision, and then to gather your relevant information and think about alternatives, weigh the evidence, think about what's good, what's not so good, and then take action. And all too often what happens is we don't take that seventh step of thinking about what is your decision and what are the consequences. So thinking about, again, when you need to make some major decisions and going through these steps are going to help you. You're setting your priorities. Ask yourself these three questions. Where is my stress? Do I have a lack of vision coming forward? How can I reduce those feelings? And is it really as intense as I'm making it to be? So setting those priorities and making those decisions are really important as we look forward and find those glimmers of joy in our life as we're making some major decisions moving forward. The resources today I've got available here from The Joy of Simplicity, the 7 Steps to Effective Decision Making, Finding Joy in the Simplicity of Life, and then Sit Down to Rise Up. So I hope it was a good little reminder of thinking about how you make decisions in your life so that you're not, handcuffed to things, but that you can move forward and really enjoy what your life has to offer. So this has been your Glimmer of Joy for August, and have a great month. Bye.